citizens. The faster you act, the better their chances. When a stroke strikes, act fast. Call 999. It's time to get your business back on track. At Total Jobs, we've been helping our customers hire the people they need for over 20 years. That's why they rate us excellent on Trustpilot. So if you're looking to grow your team, do it with a team you can trust. Total Jobs. Advertise today at totaljobs.com/hire.
Home working. We've set a kitchen tables, dining tables, even dressing tables. So make home working work for you with a new CCM Smart Desk. It'll raise and lower. It's any sitting or standing position you prefer to work from. All at the touch of a button. It's even got built-in USB and wireless smartphone charge points. Pre-order with £100 off for just £329, including free delivery from mysmartdesk.co.uk. The Kia countdown to going hybrid has started, with 4 stunning hybrid cars, including the Kia Sportage, Exceed, Niro and Sonic. 3 will come with 3 amazing offers until the end of May. 2, first 2 services free, 2 years roadside assistance. 1, and the big one, 0. That's right, 0% APR. It's time to go hybrid with Kia. Search Go Hybrid with Kia today. Kia. Movement that inspires. 0% APR available over 24 months with minimum 20% deposit. Kia Finance.
How we're gradually coming out of lockdown, we can finally get out of the house, do some of the things we've all been missing. Like meeting friends over a takeaway coffee or visiting family for a barbecue. Around 1 in 3 people have COVID-19 with no symptoms and spreading it without knowing. That could be your friend, relative, or even you. Help stop the spread by reducing travel and meeting outside. Let's take this next step safely. Remember, hands, face, space, and fresh air.
Heathrow Orient Breakfast on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Headlines in a moment. I just want to explore another aspect of the story. Indeed, when I come to the headlines, the Financial Times leads with this story. Now that probably encapsulates everything you need to realise. The Financial Times, which of course is a global newspaper, leads with this. Let's get global sports correspondent for Associated Press, Rob Harris, into the conversation. Rob, I don't know if you were listening earlier. Good point from Mark Sangers. This is almost the American footballisation of English, or if you will, British football. Rob.
Yeah, just look at who is involved. The owners of Manchester United, Arsenal and Liverpool, who own American franchises in baseball and the NFL, where they've got a closed system, so they guarantee the revenues every year. They no risk of missing out on the competitions, and all this comes at a time just when Arsenal and Liverpool have failed to qualify for the Champions League next year because they're outside the Premier League's top 4. So what better way to safeguard your position than to go out on loan and start your own rival to the Champions League?
Come on, you're close to the game. Is this a bargaining chip, or do you think it might actually happen? And also, again, your global hat. Teams such as Bayern Munich and Paris Saint-Germain, they must be feeling a bit sore as well.
Well, I think it's going to be very interesting where this goes legally. There's threats of legal action on both sides, both the Super League side and from UEFA as the governing body currently organising the Champions League, and they're protesting who has the right to be able to organise competitions. Should UEFA have the divine right to be the ones who do organise a European club competition? And yes, it's interesting the fact that the German and French clubs are out of this at the moment, and that could be reading the water in terms of just what success does this have. What would the backlash be at home if they were to do so? The fans of German clubs can be particularly vocal, although they have been overlooked in the past just with various sponsorships that have gone against them that have still been pursued. But this does seem a key breaking point, and there's such big levels of distrust now between the European clubs involved in this and the UEFA leadership, which believe up to Friday it had agreement on its own plans to bring in a new format for the Champions League, and they feel certainly that they've been misled by some of the most powerful figures in the game.
Rob, thank you. I know you're a busy individual. There's a string of interviews. Rob Harris is global sports correspondent for Associated Press. Your call's coming in, Ian. I'll come to you in just a moment. Those headlines then I mentioned. That's the front page of the Daily Telegraph. PM takes on football giants over new Super League plan. I said the FT breakaway goal, clubs to join Super League, and the Times Johnson cries foul over plan for football Super League. Quickly up the front page is a story we're going to look at in just a few moments. It's the front page of the Eye. They've got an exclusive interview with Juncker, the former EU chief, in which he says he, as in Cameron, told me not to interfere Mum ever took me to was at Loftus Road, and it was a 1-1 draw. QPR 1, Leicester City 1. I remember it vividly, and my mum took me to virtually all the grounds. That was why, when Leicester won the Premiership, it was the year after my mother had died. So there they are. There's a guy, I'm seeing Nessun Dorma in the new ground. This tracks back to my grandfather. I think, oh my God, that's the sort of pull that football has. Ian, keep following a nice team, QPR. I think they're a little ways off possibly getting into the Premier League, let alone this Super League. Andrew, you'll be the next caller on that. But let's come back to this extraordinary interview in the Eye. Credit to them. Everybody would have wanted it. Was Jean-Claude Juncker. You might have had to get up early in the morning to get it. We'll just park that there. But in some ways, intriguing times for David Cameron might have got a little bit worse by the intervention of Jean-Claude Juncker, the former EU boss. The Usher with LBC's political editor has two late details.
A quick reminder of the man that is Jean-Claude Juncker, the nemesis of Nigel Farage in Brussels and the president of the European Commission until 2 years ago.
You know, you were Prime Minister of Luxembourg for 19 years. You headed up the Euro group. New you are not. You and this commission, frankly, are as stale and musty as a corked bottle of wine.
I'm really surprised that you were fighting for Brexit. The British people voted in favor of Brexit. Why are you here?
Now, when he was appointed to the top job back in 2014, the former Prime Minister David Cameron made a strategic mistake. He tried to stop Mr. Juncker getting that top job. He failed.
This whole process has simply reinforced my conviction that Europe needs to change. That was a clear message delivered by voters at the European elections. So while Europe's taken one big step backwards today with their choice of Commission President, I've made some small steps forward, securing a new relationship for Britain in the EU.
Now, 2 years later, Mr. Cameron found himself trying to get a better deal with the EU on which to launch his pitch for Remain ahead of the Brexit referendum. He didn't get that great deal. Indeed, Mr. Juncker said at the time he didn't envisage any circumstances where Britain would ever leave the European Union.
If I would say now that we have a plan B, this would indicate the kind of willingness of the Commission to envisage seriously that Britain could leave the European Union. So I'm not entering into the details of the plan B because we don't have a plan B, we have a plan A. Britain will stay in the European Union.
And Mr. Johnson, Prime Minister Boris Johnson, loved that comment. It was grist to the leave mill. And that is the basis on which David Cameron then told Mr. Juncker to stay out of the referendum. And this is why Mr. Juncker has now given this interview to the Eye, quoted as saying, Mr. Cameron, told me not to fear in the Brexit debate in the UK, to shut up, so I shut up. I should have spoken out rather than stay silent. And that's the regret for Mr. Juncker, that he ended up trusting David Cameron when he felt he should actually be campaigning for Britain to remain in the European Union.
LBC's political editor Theo Usherwood reporting. Andrew in Lydney, your response to this Super League or Super Breakaway 6. Andrew, good morning.
Well, I'm becoming disenchanted with football. You know, Nick, 30 years of following Bristol Rovers does that to a man. You know, but my argument is all grassroots football. Where are we going to get the likes of the next Gary Mabba, your Jamie Vardy, Vince Jones, Nigel Martin? I think Jones is a hot terrier. Nigel Martin building. Jamie Vardy, I think he was on the spanners as well.
He was, and then turned out for Fleetwood, didn't he? And then made his way out. Yeah,
That's exactly right. I mean, what are we going to have next? 4 quarters and a multi-million-pound half-time show? That's one way.
And 2 balls on the pitch.
Yeah, there is one way to stop this, mate. Don't go. Don't stop going. That is the only way.
But you know what, Andrew? They won't care. Because it's the likes of Sky and Star India and ABC or whoever. That's who they're not looking for Bristol Rovers for your gate money or King Power for my gate money. Well, actually, our teams are different, but that's what these big teams are after, of course, isn't it, Andrew?
There will be no. There will be no. It was always. Please don't take this wrong. There was a working man's sport.
I know. Yeah, no.
You know, all the old boys that used to come out the pits, you know, off the railways, the dockers,
Yeah.
you know, having a game of, it's how all these teams all were created. It's a shame that Gary Neville, like your last caller said, spar.
Andrew, look after yourself. A good win getting the sales of your team down at Bristol. Thank you for that.
And from 4, listen on Global Player, LBC.
Auto Express magazine are calling it 2021's coolest SUV. We call it the all-new Vauxhall Mocha. Its unmistakable design makes it impossible to ignore. But it's not just the coolest SUV, it's also one of the most advanced.